Good afternoon, Abbotsford residents. I'm Mr. Pelican. I'll be running for your Commander-in-Chief in Abbotsford to give Abbotsford its city back and its residents a voice, but to forensic audit the city on all the backroom deals what's been taking place. Today, I thought I'd bring you a different podcast. A lot of people have been asking me what do I think about the leadership race now that my friend John Rustad of the B.C Conservatives is out. John Rustad is still number one in BC in the voting poll to run that party. But it is what it is. But John Rustad also was responsible for a lot of problems in that party, not pulling his socks up and allowing Liberals to get in the back doors, which BC voters and friends have warned John Rustad to put a stop to it. Eventually, the Liberals did what they do all the time, took it over. Abbotsford and BC has a big problem of trust. We believe that these people can come back in and we give them a second chance, and every time they come in, they screw it up, and it's about themselves and it's not about this province. And we need to put a stop for that when you take office. We need to make sure. This was former MLA Michael de Jong's office as a BC Liberal. The man that caused so much harm to Abbotsford and to BC, and all the things that he brought in was unbelievable, from the casinos to everything. The man that even threw an illegal party on Bell Road at the height of the coronavirus where people were going to jail under Dr. Bonnie Henry and David Eby. But Henry Brown and his Abbotsford police decided not to charge Mike because they were going to use him to run in the federal election. It was Pierre Poilievre of the federal Conservatives recognized that Mike was a Liberal right through, and he endorsed Suk Mangel, which Abbotsford went behind and are proud of Suk Mangel. And you could see the Liberals constantly trying to get in Suk Man's back doors all the time. You can see Alex Mitchell, the federal Lib from the Chamber of Commerce. So what am I doing here? Today I'm here to speak to you about a candidate is the true blue. And I waited to tell you today of all days is this man is the only candidate, and let me explain, for the BC leadership over my friend John Rustad. Bruce Banman dropped out and is endorsing this man, which Abbotsford knows when Bruce Banman speaks from the heart, because Bruce Banman is for the people and he's with the people. We saw Ian Black come in here, that's running, and Ed Fast, the Liberal former BC federal MP, Liberal, which ran Mike de Jong to try to get in with Henry Braun, the mayor, Mike de Jong, and Simon Gibson. Simon and Mike were partners in the Ledge, both Liberals. Undoubtedly, they're trying to get Ian Black in. It's an establishment that votes you in, not the voters. If you look how many voters go, and there's 14,000 voters versus 300,000 people that can vote. They know to work the Chamber of Commerce, get Vicky Hopes to run the newspaper, Ian Black, Ian Black, Ian Black, Ian Black. Get Dave Sadu with the Contributor newspaper, fooling the voters. What does it take? What does it take to get behind this man? Let me tell you what it takes. It takes $25 to go down and take a membership with the BC Conservatives, that now, when the leadership race comes, you can vote, and you can vote for him. Let me tell you, Caroline Elliott, there's videos all over Facebook and YouTube about her and Kevin Falcon, his sister-in-law. Caroline Elliott was the one that took the BC Liberals and changed the name with Kevin Falcon to the BC United and bankrupted and ran it over the ground. Kevin Falcon holds on to that party, keeping it in turmoil rather than letting somebody take that party back over. So he keeps it constantly closed and down, forcing the BC Liberals, the old Liberals, to vote NDP, because that's the only thing they have left. The Liberals found a way now to come in and take over the Conservatives. So we know what Caroline Elliott did a few weeks ago up in Merritt when her team called Bruce Banman out and was trying to raise nominations. And we know what Ian Black is about. Now we have Peter Millibard, who is a big Liberal. Peter Millibard's whole team is Liberals. Peter Millibard has videos out that Under his leadership and his polls, all his polls are done by roadrunners, him and Caroline Elliott's. Their polls are always in the lead. Then Peter, under her poll, it's Caroline Elliott, then Peter, and then other candidates, and they never mention Yuri. Then under Peter, it's Peter Mellibard, then Caroline Elliott, and then all the other candidates, and it never mentions Yuri, does it? These are roadrunner polls made up by themselves, and if you Google the company doesn't exist. These things and dirty games in politics have to stop because it was establishment, and BC wasn't getting ahead. What does this candidate offer? This candidate offers that digital ID and voting will be banned, and you got to go to the voting poll because there will be no more cheating. This is how the Liberals and NDP held power. And you got to go in by mail, by ballot, and check the box, which is good. This candidate also realizes that at the day he takes over, he's got a team ready. He doesn't need to hire the former Liberals, and he won't hire a Liberal. He's got doctors, he's got people ready to take that office and get BC hit the ground running. He also realizes that the forestry industry has been devastated under this government, and it needs to be changed. Jobs and everything need to be changed, and it's only special projects that are being awarded out. But this candidate also recognized this, that BC residents don't have good paying jobs, especially their unions, and they don't have good pensions here. But Alberta does, because they survive off them pipelines and everything else. Where we're here in the rain, in the drizzling and everything, we can't go to Palm Springs on our good holidays because our jobs don't create enough to supply. Well, Alberta's out laughing and giggling, and if you talk to people in Alberta, oh, I just got back. I was 21 days on a cruise. Why? Because that premier's got good jobs for their workers. Peter Mellibard made a statement and a video that under his leadership, that you will have a seat at the ledge. He's calling on all his BC Liberals, so let me put it in layman's terms. Hey, former Liberals, this video's for you. It's a special mission. I need you to sign up now, get my membership up, and we'll be all reunited back at the ledge, and you'll all have a table. BC and federal Conservatives know where they stand, and they know where they are. They always have a seat at the table when they got a good leader. They don't need messages like Peter Mellibard, but Abbotsford's outraged on the underseating of the Liberals. We got a man like Harman Bangdu, who was supposed to be a grassroots Conservative, went and backed Caroline Elliott, Kevin Falcon's sister-in-law. I could just see it. She probably hired Harman Bangdu and shook the hand of the deal is, if I get in as Premier, you can be Deputy Premier. That's worse than having David Eby, both of these. But what will happen is if we don't get a true Conservative at the leadership, a true Conservative, the Conservative voters will pull out, sustaining their vote, giving David Eby a mandate, or maybe even bringing BC One up. I stand today at the former MLA's office, Mike DeYoung, because Abbotsford worked hard to get the Liberals out. BC, we need to work hard to make sure the Liberals get out of our party. We need to make sure that they don't. They do have a party. They can go back, take Kevin Falcon out, and reopen the old Liberals. And that's what they need to do, and they need to say that you're not welcome in the BC Conservatives at all. It's a hard struggle. So for $25, BC, you need to take a membership out for the Conservative Party. And that way, the establishments that run these parties through the back door won't have say over the voters. And you won't be able to sit there, well, they cheated, oh, they did. No, the ability of them blocking you because they use the Chamber of Commerce, they use the newspaper which Henry's tied to, and everything else. For an update, I want to tell you this. Ed Fast, the former MP, the federal Conservative, is outraged that Bruce Banman went behind this Conservative. He was outraged. It went all through town that Ed was outraged and made phone calls that he should have got behind Ian Black. Bruce Banman went behind the Conservative because he saw a path forward for BC, a path forward for a good leader. That's what he went behind. And Ed Fast is a long time washed up and shouldn't be making them calls to load a Liberal. And we do not see anybody endorsing Peter Mellibard from the Conservatives, do we? We don't see Pierre Poilievre. We don't see Pierre Poilievre endorsing Caroline Elliott or anybody. This is the only true blue. This man here for the Conservative Party. You need to take your membership and you need to vote. And if you don't vote for these Conservatives and put a Conservative in office, whether it's him or a true Conservative, the NDP is going to get a mandate. David Eby knows exactly what I know. The true Conservatives like myself, and I'll say it right here on this podcast, I will not vote for Peter Mellibard, I will not vote for Caroline Elliott, and I will not vote for Ian Black. And that is a true lot of Conservatives will not vote that way, putting David Eby back in office unless we get a true Conservative. There is a spot for Peter Mellibard, there is a spot for Caroline Elliott, and there is a spot for Ian Black. That spot is in Kevin Falcon's party to take it back over and reopen it, the old BC Liberals. So today, I'm live at Michael de Jong's former office, which is held by a true Conservative here in Abbotsford, British Columbia.